Hi Internet, welcome back to the stream. Happy Monday to you all. Hope you're all doing good. Talizu, oh hi, how's it going? So we're currently, just a couple of updates, stream stuff. We're currently on a 1 minute delay, so not quite as interactive as usual, because I'm actually competing this evening. If you haven't heard, I've mentioned it a few times, and there's been some announcements on social media and such. I was invited to be part of the Champion Draft Series, where 8 people got thrown in a group and we got to draft champions from the pool of what's available in Runeterra. I am up against Puffball Panda in about 15-ish minutes, so I thought that would be fun to stream. This is the first time I'm actually streaming myself playing competitively outside of ranked, so this is going to be interesting. I've never tried to like commentate and host my own plays other than ranked, so we'll see how that goes. I may turn into just like a fucking stone-faced wall halfway through, so we'll see how that goes. Currently just kind of waiting for deck lists and for people to be ready, and I'm ready. I think I have deck lists that I built. Since we're so close to the match anyway, I'm actually going to reveal what my deck lists are. For those of you who are unaware what was drafted for me, I had my S tier pick. Their champions were sorted by tiers, and you could have a certain number from each tier. Picked Zoe, Teemo, Victor, Vi, Kayn, Hecarim, Caitlyn, Aurelion Sol, Maokai, and Nivea as my draft picks. Today we're going to see actually quite a number of them. I believe there are 7 that I'm dragging along with me today in my games, because I had some interesting ideas. So Puffball Panda is my opponent, and based on my information that I had from the draft, I have a feeling, I have a hunch, I have a strong suspicion that it's going to be a lot of units. I know that she was also trying to brew Shurima less Echo, I believe, at one point. I was kind of ignoring that and mostly focusing on the fact that Quintrox is available from her roster. So I wanted a lot of Shadow Isles. We have 2 decks with Shadow Isles, and yes, there are removal spells in both of them. They're all kind of janky. They're all kind of janky as shit because I'm a fucking expedition player at heart, and jank is my happy place. So they're perhaps not the most consistent. Some of them, all of them, are not the most consistent options that I could have been going for in a lot of cases. I have access to Teemo Caitlyn, but I decided to go for an absolutely nuts build. You see 2 girls, 1 shroom, and you're dying. Oh yeah, someone suggested that I build the deck 2 girls, 1 shroom and just put Teemo in with like Caitlyn and Vi or something. It was Caitlyn and Vi. I ended up not doing it this time around, but the concept is so good that I have to use it at some point in this draft. What I decided to do instead, as we are still waiting here, I decided to bring Teemo Hecarim, hear me out, with Caustic Cask, because the casks are not immobile, so they actually are able to trigger the Hecarim level up. So they double both as here's some extra Nexus damage, and they also contribute to Hecarim potentially just giving them also +3 damage to the attack. Tasigi, hello! I will kick some butt. I will kick some motherfucking ass today, hopefully. I brought Teemo Hecarim Cosmic X because I have a death wish for myself. I also have here with me today, what was this one? I almost brought Zoe Kayn Elusive, and I'm just like, I'm gonna cast Blue Kayn. What I decided to go with was something that other people have also built, actually, is Zoe, Victor, Vi. So you have a lot of utility in just like making stuff out of thin air, and then hopefully you can cast Scourge. When I was deck testing this one, I was actually able to cast Scourge on like 2 of my opponents. I won one of them. I did not win the other. So that was kind of interesting. Katarina is your Shroom Queen. You know, that's fair. She does deal Nexus damage. And if you can keep summoning her per round, sometimes she does more Nexus damage than actual shrooms do occasionally. And then I also brought Maokai and Nivea because I wanted removal. And during the draft, Anivia was free until my last pick, and then I was looking at the list and I was like, we're just gonna take that Anivia to give access to Freljord as well. Exciting. Starfruit days. Yes, it is exciting. Also, welcome to the chat, by the way. Hello. As can Pesky Spectre as well as use Cast Salesman. Pesky Spectre does also count. I decided to not use the Spectre, mostly because I didn't want it to bloat. My concern with those cards was like bloating like your deck as well as your opponents. I just decided to go full on fucking burn you in the face with this. I think this deck, the two P and Z decks that I have, are the most inconsistent and the most wild if they are able to win their games. So I'm just here to have a good time. If I get 2-0'd, so be it. They'll be entertaining as fuck. I'm just kind of crossing my fingers and hoping that the Hecarim can pull this out. Pinkos, appreciate it. I'm ready to have some fucking fun. I got snacks, I got a drink. Also, Flufferton is here for moral support, and I probably will be holding him for most of it, not gonna lie. Oh, nervous still fucking nervous. Still a little bit on edge of just like, this is the first time you're streaming in a higher stakes context. Sapling is a sapling toss is a high skill, decent reward for challenger if need be as well. I debated the sapling toss. I actually had it for a while, and then I ended up taking it out because it was so situational that I thought consistency with other cards might be more effective. We'll see if that bites me in the ass or if I actually needed something like that. But for now, just running. I mean, I can show off the list. The deck lists are gonna be public for everybody in a hot minute. It's this. Of course, there are soul cleaves in here because I discovered if you soul cleave Hecarim, it's a shitload of damage. The other thing that I included was a Shroud of Darkness. And hear me out. If I can Shroud of Darkness the Hecarim on his attack, or preferably on the turn that I play him into an attack, he's then just cannot be stunned. He cannot be killed. He's just there. And I'm really excited to get some overwhelm damage in. I think that will be very funny. Is a bit funnier with Hallowed in the world? That's actually a good point. I could have run some Hallowed. Someone else drafted Gwen for this. But yeah, Hallowed was an option. Didn't really attack it at all. I also have a kind of a bit of an Easter egg in the Zoe Victor Vi deck, and it is Pursuit of Perfection. Should I have thrown this in there? Perhaps not. It's not in a lot of the iterations of this deck, but I get close to it pretty frequently. And there was one game when I was testing where it ended up in my opening hand, and that's just like a no-go. But if it's not in my opening hand and I can draw it later in the game, not a lot of solutions most of the time for a 30-30 overwhelm hitting you in the face, especially if your opponent is tapped out on mana. So we'll see if we can catch any games with that. Likely no, but it's fucking funny. And then this one is pretty standard. I think it's like basically a Nivea. It's basically a Nivea, but there's also Deadbloom Wanderer and the Maokai, obviously. Opens up that Shadow Isles because this is a divergent draft condition, which for the CDS means that you do have to run 6 champions minimum to actually be able to run that deck in particular. Razorleaf, hello, welcome back. Full 3 Phantom Pranksters. You've been 2 to be diminishing returns point. I had trouble drawing my Phantom Pranksters, which was my concern there. I was running 2 at one point, and then I also had an Everglade Collector, and the Everglade got axed because it's 5 mana and it's way too expensive. The 2 Pranksters I debated, but I was just having so much trouble finding them, and I also ran into somebody who just like killed both back to back. So I was a little worried about if they die, I don't have replacements, and it is slightly reliant on the pranksters being there. Because here's the thing, a haunted relic with the prankster on board, if the relics are allowed to hit face, is 6 damage alone, not counting puff caps, not counting anything else, not counting buffs from the Hecarim. So I definitely loaded up on the damage. It is extremely top deck dependent. The Zoe Victor Vi deck is like still still very top deck dependent, but it has a little more like we can just throw things around until we get, you know, augment glorious evolution bullshit happening. And then this one is just live. It's just survive. Solid choice while increasing its count. Seraphine's package while you start running it when you can get it on a body. Yeah, I actually had to think about the Seraphine cards a little bit for this, because this is like relatively not updated from older lists that I was looking at. I thought about Bar, I thought about Fan Club President. I actually put a Fan Club President in here and then took it out because I was like, this is a 5 mana 2/2. I don't block Fearsome with this. I don't block really much of anything, and I have spent 5 mana. Definitely a value generating resource, but I was like really hesitant to run that for sure. Looks like we have about 5 minutes left. I am checking for deck codes. Ah! Ah! I'm still so fucking nervous and excited at the same time. What's the Champion Draft Series? The Champion Draft Series is where 8 people were thrown together. I am lucky to be one of them. You're invited to compete in basically a champion draft. So it was all of us picking from the same pool of champions one by one, so the pool will deplete over time. I got a specific set of champs that were very P and Z focused for sure, and then we got some Freljord and Shadow Isles as well. They're draft decks, and I tried to take the spirit of the draft really hard and just go, what's the craziest piece of shit that we could actually do here. And so far, this was it. Or at least this is what I thought would be the most fun for the start. It will be, I believe, an 8-week series, so each of us will be playing against the other. So this was definitely brushing off the competitive nerves for me, I think. Okay. I will, of course, be having the chat minimized and the deck lists up for this. So I will not be super interactive, but I will be trying to narrate my plays as usual. Also, just realize I should probably, just for the sake of my own brain, have my own deck lists like available to me. I should probably do that. So we're gonna do that real quick. If anybody wants my deck codes, you're not allowed because they're bad. They are bad, and they do not need to be disseminated to anywhere in particular. Yes, is that my shit? Yep, there's my shit. Gotta love my shit. Close that for a moment. Moss, hello. Yeah, I'm hoping to have this shit done. What's going in? We got deck list. All right, I'm gonna start closing stuff down. Oh, it's just me in the game, and also Puffball Panda, my opponent, who is wonderful, and I'm excited. But here we go. Oh my god. Let's see here. Time to open up some shit. It's so weird streaming without the chat. Like, I actually haven't done that before. Oh, there's some spicy stuff in here. I'm excited. Gotta add Puffball in a second here. Yep, there's a deck that I expected in this roster. So let's pull. Yep, I planned for that. So that shouldn't be too bad. All right, let's get this shit going. I really hope that my is this not what's going on? Did I spell something wrong? As far as I am aware, I haven't spelled something wrong. 1 second here. Not super. I'm gonna open the chat for a second. Not super interactive. Sounds like current LOR. Are you talking? What do you mean? Rise isn't a card. Also, Remni, hi. Doop. Am I copying it incorrectly? I'm not sure. Okay, let's try this again. 2 minutes left. 2 minutes left. NA1. Errors. Okay, well, I am going to wait until, let me just see here. Yeah, I'm really hoping the Teemo doesn't get banned. I think the Teemo's gonna get banned because there's a chance that it is just like too much of a blowout. But I think my hope is that the P and Z decks go through. I would really prefer that because then the Mount Nivea can just kind of sit around. The time that I was testing it on stream was the time that I was like trying to figure out what could work, and then it didn't work, but I did some more deck testing in the background where it kind of smoothed itself out a little bit more. Okay. Whoo! Whoo! Woo! Oh shit, we got some people. Thank you for the wishes for good luck. I really appreciate it. So the Mao and the Asol, I am unapologetic about stealing them. But I appreciate it. We got them. They are mine now. Only one is. Here we go. I don't think so. I can always take somebody out though if I must. Do. Stuff back on the other end. At least I don't have to worry about the match being recorded. That is a condition. That is the condition of the Champion Draft Series here. But that's what the stream is for. Oop, here we go. Ooh, almost ready. Almost ready. Looks like we're finding our opponent. Ooh, band's about to come up. Here we go. Has worked for you as well? Okay. Wait for a second here. Ah, there we go. Woo! Got it. And I think that means we are about to be off to the races here. Whew. All right. Deck code's available. Brain somewhat working. Brain kind of working. Brain hopefully mostly working here. What am I? Okay. We'll see the deck list in the band shortly. Waiting for the pings. And I think we're going in. Spectating. Oh, do I actually have spectating enabled? Need to make sure. Social. Nope. I actually had to do this in a long time. 10 seconds and banning index so you can get the recording. Got it. Allows friends to spectate. Okay. We do have that enabled and running as well. All right. Here we go. Wait 10 seconds before the ban resolves, and we're out. Ooh, combat! Mortal Kombat! Obviously, the most mortal of combats. Yeah, here we go. CDS, CDS, CDS. Watch me have fucked it up, but this is the right roster. Don't have to worry about that. See, I named them in advance. I'm so good. I named them in advance. I'm so prepared. I really should delete the seasonal deck that I just have sitting in my inventory, though. I don't really need that hanging around anymore now, do I? Okay. Oof. Oof. My variety piles. My sweet, sweet variety piles. Damn it, I want that Hecarim deck to row. Why are the icons like off center? The P and Z and the P and Z and the Shadow Isles icons made it look cross-eyed for like a hot second. Okay, waiting a few seconds before the bans resolve. All right, here we go. We are looking at Star Spring, looking at 3 copies of Star Spring. I actually kind of thought about this, and I was tempted to put in a Tellstones for it because I knew that Soraka Kench was going to show up in the draft. The amount of Demacia that I'm staring down, though, is just like mostly terrifying. It's like mostly terrifying. I honestly don't want to face pure elites. I think I'd rather die to Aatrox than pure elites right now, so we're gonna go with the pure fucking elites of ban, I'm pretty sure. Like, Aatrox Vayne is annoying, don't get me wrong, that's just gonna be annoying as fuck to deal with, but that's what we have Vengeances and Ruinations for, and there are technically fewer units in this deck, so I don't have to worry about like, hey, the board is wide as fuck, and I have literally no answers with which to deal with it. Because, I mean, the wide as fuck board is always going to be a problem, I think. But I think we have to go with this. Also, I have no recourse for champion strength in particular. So we're going to start with that, I think. Which means we now need to look at Soraka Kench. Oh, we're getting the Hecarim plays! Oh, we're getting the Teemo Hecarim! I have to go with this first. I have to go with this first. I have to. It's just, I 1000% have to do that. The worry is, I think, healing, but we're up against Quintrox. Not Quintrox, Vanetrox. We're up against Vanetrox first, which is going to be interesting as fuck. We are starting out with the turn 1 fucking Teemo. Shroom Queen in the house as usual. We got this, bitch. All right. Right, Flufferton? We got this, huh? We got this! We have the team out! It's fine! There's no quietus! There's no quietus. What does that list have, actually, now that we're in it and we know for sure that we're going to be going up against it? Yeah, there's no way for this to be shut down early. There's also no sharp sights in the deck, so until it gets struck down, the Teemo is gonna be allowed to exist. And we do, of course, get that turn 1 attack. So we're just gonna start. We're gonna start out strong. I will soul cleave the Teemo. If push comes to shove, and it's the only thing that I can do to get enough point of Nexus damage, we're soul cleaving the goddamn fucking Teemo. Haunted Relic is a potential. Just, I have units to stand in the front, which is what I'm looking forward to here. Used Cask Salesman is also now in hand, so I'm gonna get that sweet, sweet attack with the casks and the ephemeral casks that don't do any damage, but do indeed contribute to the level up there. We're gonna take the 3 damage, we're just gonna stomach that Petricite to the face. Yeah, the units here that we're looking at are Fleet Feather, Steadfast Elkin, Broadwing, and Ranger Knight Defector. Pretty powerful stuff. I actually don't have room for all the Haunted Relics, but again, this is what they're gonna block. They're just gonna block. They're just gonna stand in the front and block. Our unfortunate trades here are probably something like Fish Fight or single combat into the Teemo with the Petricite Broadwing. Looking at these lists real quick, but we're just gonna kind of go. We're just gonna go, we're gonna do our combo, we're gonna try and do our thing. We've got a block on a couple of units. The cask doesn't matter. The 3-2 might get a trade with the Elkin, though I kind of doubt it. There's Catch in the deck, so can pull a weapon out of hand, slap it on there. Unfavorably trade that one. We do get another Teemo Smack, though, however, just easy. Damage done, damage resolving. This will hit me again. We go down to 14. Petricite Broadwing going to take out the Teemo, it looks like. Can I sustain the Demacia damage is the real question here. The answer may be no. The answer may be no. If I summon a Haunted Relic here for blocks, I feel like that's probably just like a reasonable option. We could also be encountering a Vayne soon, but who knows? I say who knows? Hopefully it's not something we have to super think about. I will cast another Haunted Relic and attack 3 more times with that. If we had managed to find a Phantom Prankster, that probably would have been a great deal of helpful. I think I'm just gonna time trick here. We're not burning too much mana. We can't cast an attack with the Hecarim next turn anyway. Most expensive card in the deck is Aatrox, so if we're able to pull off this Aloof Travelers, we do discard a copy of the Aatrox. Scout resolving right here. Still no damage for us to take, really, so we're holding up a defensive line, and that's what the Haunted Relics are here to do. Pretty much. Don't want to lose damage on the 0-3s, don't want to lose the Valor. Makes sense. We did add, I believe, 2 Aloof Travelers here. We are dropping Concerted Strike, so that's out of the way. We're definitely running out of answers for our ephemerals. I could Soul Cleave the Aloof Travelers, which is not an atrocious idea. If I Soul Cleave the Aloof Travelers now, there's still a potential for a strike to just kill it outright, and we also are vulnerable then to 2 and 6, which is 8, brings me down to 7. I'm not a fan. The Soul Cleave Aloof, don't get me wrong, is super fucking tempting, but I could also just do it next turn and have a grand total of 4 Aloofs be cast, which could get rid of a good quantity of Aatroxes, to be fair. At least we do know that there is no Aatrox, and the 1 copy of Concerted Strike that is in the deck has actually been tossed, so we are looking at now just good Demacia units, good Demacia birds, and some weaponry. Still have a time trick to potentially throw out. There's that Aatrox top deck, though, with the last weapon. So did kind of fuck up that timing on Aloof. Unless it's not an open with the Aatrox, but I'm pretty sure it should be. Which does mean that I might be able to sneak out of Vengeance. There's no... what's the word for it? There's no... English language eludes me. There is no... Expanse's Protection. That one. There's no Expanse available. But it wasn't actually just cast, so we're gonna go with this guy. Discard that copy of Aatrox in hand. We do have the Bardy mode as well. We're gonna send that over, and then we're also gonna Aatrox, because I discarded your Aatrox. I'm so sorry. There is a Vayne. We do not have the Vengeance for the Vayne anymore, of course. I am gonna just rip this fucking Aloof Travelers, I think. We still end up with 2 blockers. The Scout attack has been used, so we're not taking lethal from this. The only thing that I'm still worried about is just eating a single combat to the face on this 1 Aloof Traveler. But we got the Soul Cleave Aloof. We threatened a Soul Cleave Aloof, which is just pretty good shit, I would argue, in any scenario. I don't get a chance to cast Haunted Relic after, but we do actually get the interaction, dropping Tumble, pulling another Aloof Travelers, triggering a Puff Cap, dropping Riposte, which is also a 1-of in the deck. So right now we still just have 2 Vaynes, 2 Aatroxes. There are 3 of Bloodletter's Harp and Spear in this, so of course we're gonna have to think about those. There is a chance to cast Haunted Relic here. I do have 2 Haunted Relics. We are not leveling the Hecarim anytime soon, unfortunately, but this still blocks damage. It still blocks just an unreasonable amount of damage coming out from Demacia here, and we're not done. Really appreciating the fact that I have 3 Haunted Relics in this deck. Still not appreciating the fact that I can't find a fucking Phantom Prankster to save my life, apparently. But chilling for the moment. Ooh, that's that 3. Has been 3 Anakas? Wait, how? That's in 1 Anaka. There's 2 Anakas going on right now. So again, there's 1 more Anaka, Darkland Bloodletters. So 1 more Anaka, 2 Bloodletters, 2 Harps left. We are seeing 2 of the Broadwings. It is 3 of Tracker, Elkin, Broadwing, Defector, yes. Okay, we're gonna hit the Vayne. I think this would be so much stronger if we literally just had a Phantom Prankster on board. That is one of the flaws that I kind of anticipated of we are just going to fucking die if we don't find the combo pieces. We have a strange number of the combo pieces, but none of them are quite right, unfortunately. We have a couple of options here. I can slam a Hecarim, and he is a 5/6 boy, and he will summon us good things. On the turnaround of the attack, probably just lose to the Valor though. So I'm really afraid of doing that actually. We also have Aloof Travelers into more Soul Cleaves. 24 cards with 9 puff caps, so we're at the same on the draw. I have a regular ass Vengeance. Vengeance, however, with the tumble on the 4/1 is 8 and 6, which is 14, and I don't have healing, so that's fun. That's what we call fun. Hecarim is just death. Hecarim, unfortunately, I think is death. There is a Ruination in here somewhere. There's a Ruination in here somewhere. I just don't think that I can pull it in time. We do manage to toss the tumble, however, so we do kind of know that the hand is relatively inexpensive. That is not inexpensive enough, however. That is not inexpensive enough. We're gonna go with Cask Salesman because it's a permanent blocker. We'll get the Hecarim up to 4, which is really awful, but it's something at least. And then I think we have unfortunately missed, yeah, we've missed the window for Ruination. We still got that Vengeance going on. Single here does kind of destroy a lot of our plans, just because I need one of these to be able to be alive to block. The Valor of obviously is going to take something out instantly. It pulls the other. I think we die. There's a chance that I can cast Haunted Relic between the scout attacks. Going for Aloof Travelers, afraid potentially of a second cleave effect, or not, yes, cleave effect, maybe? I'm not quite sure. HPs are even right now. Which is kind of funny versus Demacia. This does not have champion strength in it. The Kale, believe it was Kale Quinn. I think the Kale Quinn had the concerted, not the concerted, the champion strength in there. Yeah, definitely feeling like I should have perhaps brought the Malnivia first. Our next matchup, if this fails, we won't see the Vayne Trox again. We'll just be up Soraka Kench. The one deck that had Tellstones for sure did get banned, perhaps as a target for the perhaps as a target for something else, honestly. If we do that, we are 1 short, so let's time trick out. We're not going to find anything, unfortunately. I think it's just not going to be enough, unfortunately. We have 9 puff caps on 22 cards, which is just like, I can't burst summon a unit, unfortunately. So that's that. Yeah, the open attack is lethal. I needed time to actually cast the, needed time to catch the Haunted Relic, but the scout attack never resolved because it didn't need to. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. Yeah, not much to do versus Demacia in that scenario, I think. Not much to do. Also, no Prankster. The Teemo also did not reemerge, so despite my happiness, my shrill happiness over the early Teemo drop, not much else to be done there. So we're up against Soraka Kench. I actually am afraid of this in general. I don't have a lot of ways to get rid of Starspring in any situation. I feel like ramping with Anivia is going to be just kind of scary in general. We could always try running the Teemo again, but we're also running into the direct healing counter. This also has more removal a little bit. I think I'm just going to pick Malnivia. At worst case scenario, it is at least deck variety in the plays. Yep, Soraka Kench. A lot of meta. A lot of meta happening. Oh boy. I mean, chicken is nice, except for the fact that I always for somehow manage to see it in opening hand and then never again. I am about to eat my words whole, considering we have another chicken. It's weird. I feel like the Teemo deck is just hard countered by the fact that healing exists in the other deck. This deck is just hard countered by the fact that if I ping too many stuff with a Star Spring on the field, which it will probably be impending quite soon, if not now, we kind of lose. Also, because we'll just be handing it a minimum like probably 3 to 5 healing a turn. That's totally fine, actually. Do we want to ramp or do we want to cast a sentry? I honestly kind of have what I need in hand as well as that extra heal. So for now, I think I'm just going to bank some mana, cast a Wild Mysticism or a Catalyst. If we can keep things above the Kench, that might also work all right. Getting draw there. Blighted Ravine or Avalanche looking a little bit tastier into the 2-1 and the 2-2. But that's really not gonna cut it for sure. Wild Mysticism gives me a gem, gives me a unit. We don't really have to worry about HP, of course, but always good to have a body. I want his hair. I would like to have that hair. Still looking good if there's no Star Spring that is about to end my whole career. Yeah, really eyeing that Blighted Ravine. Would like that Blighted Ravine out now. Anivia is also looking okay. We're going to be able to cast the Anivia on our next turn with the Blighted, so that's a potential option. We have Deadbloom Wanderer for deck thinning and for Maokai synergy. It's the only Maokai synergy piece that I have in the entire deck, and it's sitting right here. Are we afraid of that? I mean, we're like not pumped about it for sure. We're not like, yeah, damage, but we're also not afraid. We've got Catalyst, we've got Blighted Ravine. If nothing else is cast here, I honestly think I'm just gonna rip the Blighted Ravine. Star Spring be damned. Let's see what we can get out of this into Anivia. Because this is not going to be easily removed in that deck, because nothing can really punch it in the face except for Sunburst, which, to be fair, there may just be a Sunburst hovering in hand, which means we will just straight up lose this. We get the eggs, though. I don't want to summon ephemeral eggs. That would be funny, but not exactly what I'm looking for. Broadback Protector is actually not going to do anything right now, but will start potentially eating up heals in a second. Yep, there's that Sunburst potentially. I'm gonna just cast Anivia. We're actually got 2 Anivias anyway. Frostbite is relatively irrelevant considering damage overall. Still looking for Star Spring, which is a bit miraculous, I'm gotta say. So let's just push while we have somewhat of an advantage here. If the 2-2 dies, I think that's good for us because it's one less unit that can heal. Catalyst of Eons can come down. We can cast a Sentry, taking the Anivia to the face. I think the same consideration on Puffball's mind as mine, perhaps, of more units on the board means more healing long term. Still no landmark, and we are 3 away from Enlightened. Make that 2 away from Enlightened right now. And we top deck Ruination, which we can cast whenever we feel like. No counter spells. There is Bastion available, but that's the only unit protection. That's the only outright unit protection that's happening. I can also Soul Cleave Anivia. I'm approaching the Soul Cleave Anivia like tipping point here. We can also just Maokai, Avaros, and Sentry, get the saplings, get the toss. Obliterating the deck right now would be kind of spicy, especially if resources are running low. If your deck has no Star Springs and Star Springs are win con, I mean, we might have this a little bit more. And of course, after all of this has happened, we just return to the shitty heck Teemo, but that's, I think, getting ahead of myself right now. Let's cast the Maokai. He's relatively safe. There's no Sunburst mana or anything like that, of course. Let's do an Avaros and Sentry. I don't know who followed because I have the OBS closed right now, or minimized, but thank you for the follow. This is also going to be probably delayed because 1 minute stream is behind, but that's okay. We are still just kind of kicking. I kind of want a Catalyst instead of casting this little Avaros and Sentry here because we have a decent attack at the moment that brings us up to 9. That means we're threatening an imminent Anivia level on our next turn. Still got Ruination. That's also the second Broadback, I believe. So kind of just sitting on that as well. I think I'm gonna throw out an Avarosan Sentry here, because if this gets Sunburst, if my Anivia dies here, we can literally just cast the other one immediately, because we have that 7 mana open, 9 mana in the bank, looking pretty good. Let's try and take something with this sapling. Let's just push a little bit. Again, if no healing, we just go. We just kind of go. Let's take that 2/2 if we can. Let's just, I think, push. I think this is our opportunity to push. If the Maokai eats shit, the Maokai is gonna eat shit. That's okay. We have Harsh Winds. We do have that. Running into the 2/3. So again, 1 less unit. That will start healing itself because we're doing finally some more Nexus damage here. Really looking at that Soul Cleave Anivia. Really looking at that Soul Cleave Anivia. There aren't little ping removals here. The only thing that would really threaten us potentially is Boxtopus and Shakedown. But if the Eggos flip next turn, we don't have to worry about that shit now, do we? That's also not draw. I'm gonna rip the Soul Cleave Anivia. We're just gonna try and get some action going on here. Let's get all these eggs doing stuff, guys. Look at all my eggs. I have so many egg. I'm ready for 6 damage to Nexus if we can pull it off here. Yep, Maokai is also gonna watch a whole bunch of shit die right now, which is feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty good. We have 27 cards, 26 over there. We're definitely far from his level up condition. Turn passes over. Let's see what we got, chickens. Let's see what we got, chickens. Yep, there are the eggs. Here's the turn flip. We get the one of the eggs going. Here we go. The skinned Anivia. Such a weird way of putting it, to be fair, you know, skinned Anivia. We now have 3, 4, 6s, as well as a Maokai just kind of chilling, just kind of hanging out, just kind of doing his thing. Soraka approaching a level, but we are of course just gonna do a ridiculous amount of damage on the open attack. Let's cast... Oh, I'm really tempted to just send this fucking Avalanche, because we don't really care. We really don't care, and we want fewer units around, so let's cast Deadbloom Wanderer. If it dies to the Avalanche, we're kind of fine, and Treat we don't need anymore for sure. We have found all of the things that we need here live in Le Chicken Land. Again, no way to kill them, and if they die, they obviously just regenerate. Still got Ruination. Tempted to rip the Ruination because we know there are no counter spells. Would that be lethal? It would be 16 plus 6, which is 22. There aren't stuns. We also have to consider Star Shaping, of course. There is a 5/6 coming down with 2 mana remaining. I think I am just going to rip a Ruination here and go with full chicken. I think we're just gonna go with a full chicken send this turn. Damage ahoy. Very late Star Spring, which is turning out very much in our favor. Getting a Wild Mysticism. Getting our eggs returned to us. All in a little corner there. Soon to shift over. Ending the round. Going for face. And I think we have this. I think we have this, actually. That's... Oh, no, we're short 2. I did my math incorrectly. Because it's 12, not 16. But that's still down to 2. We have 2 avalanches to just cast on units over there. We just have to survive the next turn. And I think we can, because the Kench cannot take this out. The Soraka is not leveled. The units are just going to die. We've also got Wild Mysticism. The 3/1 is kind of irrelevant, so we're just gonna, I think... there's no drawing off of the healing. I could be mean in Avalanche. I think I'm gonna pass, see if we can't bait out more. Though at this point, is the bait out really necessary per se? There's healing for sure, but we honestly just kind of need to go. 18 of 25 on the Maokai now, so we also have that as an advantage. There is a Scourge happening, and we of course have Harsh Winds in hand, so we're just gonna use that to our full fucking advantage. The Maokai can stand in the front. I think the Maokai can stand in the front. That'll be all good. One chicken looks like it may be lost to the sands of time, but that is not to be. We've got that second one sitting right here. Maokai and Anivia at threat. No buffs other than Pale Cascade. No buffs other than Pale Cascade to be cast here. So, sorry, pardon me, excuse me. No. I know what the Scourge does. I cast a couple of them earlier today when I was testing. We don't want to deal with it. Okay. This is good, pretty good. Yep, excellent. I could also avalanche to rub this wound in harder, but we're not gonna do that. We're just gonna open swing. We're just gonna fucking open attack. We are at 19 cards, so we could also potentially mill our opponent right now. I will, do I cast? No, I'm not gonna, the meme player in me is screaming so loudly right now, but we're not gonna actually cast the 4th Anivia. I don't need 4. We're already murdering the Scourge almost anyway. I will resist the temptation to cast 4 of them. Okay, we're back on our Tebow Hecarim bullshit, and I'm ready for sure. Let's get Phantom Prankster up in hand and hope that that works out. I need Phantom Prankster. I need the Prankster. There are 3 of them in there. I don't know how I didn't top deck it before. Let's go! Let's go! Getting a little bit more of the confidence back now that I have managed to win a game. My mod is telling me to remember to emote. I have been emoting. We shared a sad bard face, in fact. Okay, so here's where I die to actual star shaping. Let's keep the Puffcat Peddler. Drawing if your healing is still annoying if there's a Puffcat Peddler around. We do find the 1 copy of Ruination that I had in the deck, so should the Kench eat all of my value items, which it will, don't get me wrong, I can maybe get rid of it and steal back my Teemo? I didn't get the turn 1 Teemo though. Turn 1 Teemo up now! Teemo, please. God, no. Okay, fine. We didn't get the God Teemo draw. I am an insufficient Teemo gamer. I must surrender immediately. There's the Star Sprig. I'm afraid now. But that's okay. We can be afraid. It's fine. We're gonna cast a Peddler, and we're gonna start this fucking Puffcap train. Turn 3 Teemo, because I'm still a god. I'm gonna Mystic Shot that, I think. We can't have healing happen. Or we could just kind of... Let's see, is there something that buffs that? There is Guiding Touch. Would the Guiding Touch be spent on a 3-1 that would die anyway? I'm not actually sure. Not actually sure about that. I'm so tempted to just take it the fuck out though. So I think I'm just gonna go with my instinct here and take it the fuck out, or force a Guiding Touch on a 3-1. We do see the Guiding Touch on a 3-1 to get that healing down. Probably doesn't trade with a 2-2, but that does mean we get to bank some mana. So we still get Peddler into Teemo here. Did lose that trade, but I don't think it's entirely catastrophic. Let's get a Peddler down. Kench is, of course, available. We'll only deal 5 between the Peddler and the... we won't deal 5 because I used the Mystic Shot. So that's fine. Let's get this Teemo out. The Teemo should be relatively safe unless there is a Hush used. But 3 mana for a 1 mana unit doesn't feel great, so I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that we can avoid that. Because the hush is scary. The hush is scary. Someone hushed my Teemo earlier today, again, when I was testing. So it's not great. Doesn't feel great. We do get the Puffcats down, though. This is a real uphill battle, though, versus the Celacorans, versus the Broadback Protectors, versus the Guiding Touches, versus the Star Shapings, versus literally everything. Soraka is now at 3 or 4 by turn 5, which is a significant turnaround from the last match for sure. Banking slowly but surely towards that Ruination. I don't want to kill my own Teemo. I think ideally what would happen is we get the Teemo level, we strike, we double, and then we pull back in Ruination to reset the board state. Or we just lose the Teemo now because I forgot that had, you know, fucking Challenger on it. Or we just completely forget what's going on. Okay, now significantly less worried about resetting the board, as I was saying before. We're just gonna take the Soraka. I mean, our Nexus damage is relatively meaningless once more. Most expensive spell that we're looking at is Star Shaping or Sunburst, so I feel like I don't really have to be super concerned about something like
we made it. Yay.
a big just blowout of some sort. We did drop the Kench, however, which I'll take. 4 mana Kench out of hand. Do I cackle or do I bard? I'm gonna cackle. I'm sorry. I'm gonna be I'm gonna be 2 inches toxic and then pull back. There's a Broadback Protector. Oh, here comes the Healy train of doom. Here comes the Healy train of doom. And now, of course, we do have to think about the fact there's that one Bastion hovering around in here. So if that gets Bastioned, the Star Spring is still gonna run away with the game. We do have another Peddler here. I'm tempted to do that into just a bunch of shit, I think, because a bunch of shit, you know, but it's a bunch of shit. Who doesn't love a bunch of shit happening? I can also open pass and be a little bit sneaky with the Ruination cast here. I think, what am I gonna do? I need the cask. I don't have Time Trick, so it's gonna be really difficult to find. I think let's go for a Peddler in the name of, I still have a Vengeance open. I can still cast a Chump Wump next turn to at least get 3 times 8 is 24 puff caps onto the deck. Like, we're close to getting that 24 mark done. The Broadback Protector is healing kind of constantly, but not yet. It will start to undo every single Teemo proc, so I'm tempted to just try and Vengeance that now. We would then be reset in trying to get Ruination out for a little bit. We could also hit the Soraka because it's healing. We for sure lose the Peddler, at least one Peddler next turn, because we're looking at that 3/4 coming into our face. The 2/2 is probably going to get healed, so the 3/4 just has free reign to take one of our 3 power units. Do you get the Vengeance off? There's always mana for another one as well. There's 3 of, I believe, yeah, there's 3 of Broadback Protectors. It's Conjure, Boxtopus, Croaker, Protector, and Stellacorn. That's of course going to heal that. We are approaching the 10 mark, and at least we got rid of that. That was the dream. We get rid of the Broadback Protector, and then the puff caps start happening, but it seems my Lord Teemo is just kind of avoiding the fuck out of me, which I'm gonna do my best to not be offended that Teemo's avoiding the fuck out of me. Come on, Teemo, you can do better than this bullshit. Come on, Teemo, I need you. I had mana for you even. I had a whole mana for you, and look at me casting poor man's Vengeance instead of nuking their Nexus with shrooms. Come on now, Teemo, you can do better. I do like this in that we have a Time Trick here to at least get a burst speed, couple burst speed spells off with the cloud and other interactions going. Wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't a second Peddler. Yeah, I would be amazed if that wasn't actually the case. I don't want to hit more stuff, and again, our Nexus damage is like not irrelevant. It's not irrelevant for sure, but it's less relevant. Significantly less relevant. We are unfortunately getting like all of the fucking like more unit-based stuff. I don't want the unit-based stuff. I want the damage. I need the burn. We do luck into Phantom Prankster, which doesn't really have any interaction versus a Star Spring deck, so despite the fact we're going to absolutely fucking lose to the Star Spring in like 2 minutes, I can still deal probably a decent amount of damage on my way out, except for the Kench that's happening. Except for the Kench. Ruination looking pretty tasty now, actually, because we would get it back if I just open cast Ruination. Still looking at that Bastion that might be hanging around in hand. Going for the Aloof Travelers instead of the Phantom Prankster, which makes me a little concerned. Yeah, I mean, that's just gonna win. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. If there's a Wish in hand, it might actually just be lethal for me. If there's a Soraka spell. If it's the Soraka spell, we die to the Star Spring alt win con. Oh no! Not the Star Spring! Oh yeah, that deck is hard to deal with if you're not like actually teched out for it. And I should have put in Piltover Telstones probably to avoid that shit. I just didn't. We do get 3 whole puff caps on the Nexus though. And I am gonna start ripping away at the... I think I'm just gonna rip Ruination here. It looks pretty tasty. Still all like full mana for Puffball, of course, but we get an Aloof Travelers back, which does count as the summon, and there's the Bastion. Fucking called it! Fucking called that Bastion! So we don't unfortunately get to kill Kench. The healing will certainly be slower, and there's no units for him to eat now. So as long as we can stay above that, we might have, like, we've reset a little bit. We've reset a little bit. The Soraka sucks, because then we're going to see that heal pretty much all the way. Fortune Croaker is also just kind of doom and destruction. That's +3 plus the Soraka. So we're looking at least 29 next turn. So it should, I think, hit the 22 mark. By the time the attack resolves. Yeah, it's gonna be the attack resolves that we're gonna lose. Well, unless nothing gets injured, to be fair. If I can sit here and wait for those last 20 puff caps to just kind of do their thing, I have a shot. I have a shot if I can live through as many turns as it takes to get 12 of those things out onto the enemy nexus here. So that's not the worst thing I've ever heard. That is the worst thing I've ever heard, and it is going the fuck away. I'm taking 6 here. I'm taking, I'm taking 7 here. I'm taking 7 damage here. We are preventing the healing. There's another one somewhere, and I'm out of removal. We don't have harrowing in this deck. It's very Hecarim based. It's a very Hecarim-based experience. We're taking 8 damage now, 2 more puff caps to the Nexus, down to 10 with a Star Shaping or something like that still available. Unfortunately, taking 10 damage, down to 9. We are going to, let's see, that's 19 of 20. That's healing on the Soraka, who's the 3. Oh, what is your HP now? It's +1, it's 2. So it goes up to 21 of 22 if I don't cast a blocker right the fuck now. It's 21 of 22 if I don't do anything, right? Yeah, it is. It's 21 of 22 and I go down to 4, but baby, that's survivable. That's survivable. Still not the win con yet. Wish doesn't actually work here because it's only a +2. So the fun part, the fun handy dandy part here is I need to win in a turn before that resolves on the next rotation. 2 puff caps to face! Holy shit! 2 HP to 7! Can we pull this shit fucking around? If I cast Salesman, I die. If I cast Cask Salesman, I die. So here's the fun part. If a unit over there gets injured, we kill ourselves with the Cask Salesman. That's it. That's what happens. If we die, if one of those units gets injured next turn, we retaliate to all fuck. That's what we fucking do. There is a puff cap! Oh, we're 5 damage short. 6 damage short, apologies. I mean, we might be 5 on the next turn around, but I have no way of drawing the Get Exciteds and the Mystic shots right now. There are time tricks in here. There are other things. It's not enough, unfortunately. It's not enough, unfortunately. That's not going to win the game that next turn, but it will win the game because I don't have a way to stun the attacking units. The thing that would have actually, I think, perhaps helped me out if I had bothered to include it is Karina. Karina would have potentially been a way to pull this out, but the thing is I literally just cannot play anything into the Kench. Do I kill myself with Cask Salesman? Because we know it's an open attack into lethal. We know for sure 1000% it's an open attack into lethal. So you know what, fuck it, we're gonna go out in a blaze of glory. We're gonna use Cask Salesman and give a fucking GG. I'm out, baby. I'm out on my own fucking terms, and it's called Cask. Well, somebody had to die to Casks in this first match of the CDS for me, and it will be me. I am proud to hold this mantle of I died to my own combo, and there's a Star Shaping. So I mean, we were leagues away from the win anyway, so I can enjoy this. I can enjoy the Cask part. And there we fucking go. There we fucking go. And that's the draw.